Viewer discretion is advised. I'm ready when you are, Mama.
Hello, and welcome back to Gossip at the Corpse Cart, where myself, Lucy, and
me, Amanda,
talk about some shit you've seen in your newsfeed, some revelations. Maybe you've gone to therapy recently and you're revisiting the worst thing you've ever done, and you're like, someone needs to hear about this. So you email us. Yeah, just crazy headlines.
Yeah, the shit you DM us on social media and to our Gmail account, wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com.
So this is the podcast where we reflect back to you what you're
craving,
shooting into our faces.
Yes.
And today we have a very special guest. We have Cassidy Liston from Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Woo!
Hello, welcome.
Look at that. The crowd went wild.
They sure fucking did.
Yes.
Pumped to have you here.
Pumped to be here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, please tell us more about your show because, first of all, I think you're wearing some of your merch right now and it's amazing.
I
Or
am.
it's just a vintage Kool-Aid shirt. I don't know, but it's sick and I love it and I want it.
Thank you. I'll send you one. This is a design I made from a haunted doll that somebody sent us. One of our listeners sent us. So I did
It looks like a Cupid doll.
Isn't it cool? He was like a Kool-Aid doll, which is apparently a thing in the 70s. Looks
Ew.
haunted as heck.
Yeah.
What does the Kool-Aid man say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's so cute.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's just a comedy mystery podcast. So we talk about the weirdest shit you can think of and make a few jokes along the way.
I love it.
Conspiracies.
Conspiracies. Yeah. Like, did the Titanic really sink? Was that even the Titanic?
Girl.
Amanda's
kind of-
all over that.
I'm kind
She's
of
the
into
Titanic
that.
girly.
The old switcheroo, the
Yeah,
old fake out.
People think it's the Olympia, I think was the other name. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
talked about this
What supports this?
on one of our episodes where I talked about the
Listen.
Titanic.
The ship was listing a certain direction from an incident that the Olympia was in, but not the Titanic, okay? Not that I'm a ship expert over here or anything.
Listen,
She's a
closet
ship
ship
truther.
expert Cass Liston is gonna spill the ship all over Drinking the Kool-Aid podcast. Do you have, other than like, obviously the mysteries surrounding the Titanic that are many of my Roman Empire, are there any of the mysteries that you've talked about on your show that like keep you fucking up at night? Have you talked about the theory that Jean-Benet Ramsey might be alive and be Katy Perry?
We did cover that on our Patreon.
Because she's going through it right now.
You know what?
That's feeling more real than ever.
If
Oh
she
my
is
God.
JonBenet Ramsey, karma was not nice to her. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
I feel like if she is, it makes sense because somebody like stole her to make her a little like performance puppet.
No, she
And
doesn't look like JonBenet though.
Look at the
I
childhood
feel like Katy
photos.
Perry has like big, like really round blue, like marble eyes, and JonBenet looked a little bit more like human.
All I'm saying is you can
I don't
get
know,
dye
Katy
injected
Perry
into
has
your eyes.
crazy eyes, I think. In a good way. I have crazy eyes.
Listen, crazy eyes unite. I've been called Gollum before. It's fine. Who hasn't? Right?
Katy Perry's not a good person, so I don't want to believe that she's JonBenet.
So are you saying JonBenet is not a good person? Say
No.
it. Say it.
I literally
Say it.
just said,
Say
so
it.
I don't want to believe that Katy Perry is JonBenet. But it would make sense because, like, you know, you're stolen from your home and raised in captivity to be like
You
a
got
pop
nothing to
star.
lose.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Black Mirror.
Oh,
Mary
horrifying.
Russell Brand.
Oh.
You have all the baggage and zero baggage.
Yeah.
You have no history.
Sorry,
You
I asked
start
you.
from scratch.
I asked you a question and then immediately inserted my own thing. So now, please feel free to
Hey,
take
that's
it away.
what podcasting is all about, baby. Okay.
Correct.
A conspiracy or something that keeps me up at night. I'm really obsessed with the Denver airport. That was like one of our first episodes we ever did. I just think it's the craziest thing. But you know what? I've realized I was thinking about this actually yesterday for no reason even. I really think I could be very easily convinced that fairies are real.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I was like,
the mushroom fairy rings, you are not going to catch me stepping in one of those fuckers.
yeah. Some of the stories I hear, I'm like, listen, I'm very stubborn. You do not want to debate with me on anything, but you could probably convince me pretty easily fairies are real.
I agree. I think that there is a lot of room for impish creatures beyond our human capacity to understand.
Yeah, somebody's up to
Existing.
something. You know what I mean?
Somebody's fucking shit up.
But don't you think it's like cooler to think about the mushrooms forming themselves into rings for some kind of reason?
Hey, everything
Everything
was magic until it was science, okay? So
Yeah, fuck science.
I think mushrooms are fucking incredible. Like we talked about on the happy hour the other night, Amanda.
I know.
The magic mushroom thing.
But some things I just want to be fairy magic.
If that's a thing you want to cling to and you don't want to be challenged at all, I can flag it as one of those in my mind and I'll never bring it up again.
Both can be cool. I just think the discovery that fairies and magic are real would be more mind-blowing than what we already know, which is that mushroom fungus is like incredible and so intelligent in a terrifying way.
the largest living organism on the planet is a fungi.
I saw a post on Reddit the other day where somebody had like full lion mane mushrooms growing out of a light, like an electric socket in their house because they had so much water damage in the walls. And it was like the comment section was so unhinged because people were like, oh, it's such a bummer because you really can't eat those because you don't know what they're like, what toxicity is in them.
That's the big bummer.
Yes, because they're such beautiful.
The primary bummer.
Well, and also like your whole house is fucked because you have that much water damage. These mushrooms were huge. They were like the size of a dinner plate growing out of the wall. The whole area around where they were growing was covered in white dust from the spores. Like they were growing.
Like mushrooms are cool in the same way that birds are cool. Like if there's like one or a few of them, it's like very magical. But if there's like 150 of them, you feel disgusted.
Yeah.
Like it's
You have to have like both things, birds and mushrooms. You have to have a healthy amount of respect and fear going into it. Okay,
exactly.
These are beings that we don't need to get involved with. It's frankly none of my business.
They're beyond us.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced birds are real and that they aren't just drones that populate from inside of the Space Needle hologram.
And don't get me started on octopus, octopi.
The alien.
The aliens, yeah.
That's what I should have done. Okay, so Amanda and I are going on a little group vacation to Lake Pepin, Wisconsin this weekend.
Oh, nice.
And we decided to do one of those like PowerPoint parties. So myself, Amanda, Scott, and Blortney have all made PowerPoints.
Well, some of us have not quite completed that PowerPoint, but by the time this comes out,
at least one of us
will have made
an hour ago.
PowerPoints.
So we know who the procrastinator is and the overachiever.
Your girl needs a deadline.
Mine
That's
has
like tomorrow.
39 slides and 5 pages of notes to read out loud. And
just
it's not
say-
even of something that interesting. I'm not going to give it away, but I will say I wish I had chosen octopus or fungi. Octopi? Is octopi really the word for it?
Yes.
Right.
I think octopuses sounds better, but
it does sound better.
Octop
exactly.
Or fungi.
Fungi.
I could
He's
still
a real
change
fun
trajectory.
He's a real fun guy. All right. How long have we been talking? Okay.
Oh, like 10 minutes. The normal amount of time.
Cassidy, thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited to if you have any weird theories about anything because you're such a questioner.
I have many weird theories. Don't get me started on the CIA in Hollywood, okay?
I am going to get you started on the CIA in Hollywood.
I want to get you started on the CIA in Hollywood. You just scrap this whole
I was
episode.
going to say, how much time do you have? Because it starts way back when, all right?
All right. Well, you'll just have to point us to your in-depth episodes so that we can get caught up and then have you on again to break it all down.
There you go.
I love it.
So before we get to all of that, Amanda, do you want to share your crazy headlines for this month?
I also want to share that I have to be very still because I don't know if you can see it, but Beans is just sitting upright in my lap, just looking at the screen. Let me see if I can give you a little.
Oh my God. Beans!
Beans,
Okay, sorry,
part
I'll
of the
put you back.
pod.
Go back down.
Yeah,
I don't, she's like
it.
trying to sit upright on my leg and I got big chunky legs. And so she's just like wobbling back and forth. So I
She was like, did somebody say CIA conspiracy? I'm in.
I'm sat. I'm all the way fucking sat. Okay, I'm going to start us with animal news. This is an article that is going to tickle animal lovers and SpongeBob fans.
Ooh.
I'm out. My love for animals does not exceed my hatred for SpongeBob.
Okay, but when you hear it, if you get it, I was like on the fence about even including this article until I read one specific line. It was like, what? And then I included it.
Okay.
So this is from what I like to call Wrbl.com, WRBL.com, News 3 out of Alabama, Macon County, Alabama. Runaway roo, kangaroo safe after hopping down Interstate 85 in Alabama. On Tuesday morning, drivers along Interstate 85 got the surprise of their lives. A kangaroo, yes, a real kangaroo, hopping casually down the highway like she had somewhere important to be. Denver Vandeventer, who captured video of the kangaroo on I-85, told Warble the moment caught him completely off guard. Quote, I was actually on my way back from a work inspection driving down I-85 when everyone suddenly started slamming on their brakes. There were multiple law enforcement vehicles with lights on and even a game and fish truck. I had no idea what was going on, so I slowed down and came to a stop. Then, as the cars in front of me started moving again, I looked up to go, and that's when I saw it. I said, oh, that's a kangaroo, and hit the brakes again. I followed it at about 5 miles an hour and I got the video. And I put a screenshot from their video so you can actually see this kangaroo on the highway just hopping.
Oh my God.
There she
with
is.
the cars in the back. There she goes. Look at her ass.
There she blows.
There she blows. That's a kangaroo.
honey.
There's another screenshot from a video of her being picked up by the game. They had to trank her. So they shot a trank at her and got her subdued and then scooped her up. Took her back. Trankaroo. The adventurous marsupial, some have named Sheila, belongs to Patrick Starr.
And that's his Christian name. God give
And
it.
that's his Christian name, Patrick Starr. And the only difference between that name and the name of Patrick the Starfish is that there's an extra R on the end of Star. But when I was reading this and I saw the name Patrick Starr with other note.
The character, the SpongeBob character's name is Patrick Starr.
Correct.
With 2 R's.
No, with 1 R.
Oh, with 1 R. And this has 2 R's.
The real Patrick Starr has 2 R's.
The real Patrick. Arguably.
Life
the
imitates
more real
art,
Patrick
you know?
Starr.
Patrick Starr owns a kangaroo, which could totally be a plot line on SpongeBob.
That kangaroo's long drowned.
Starred, not if it's like Sandy Cheeks, the
Oh, yeah.
squirrel.
Isn't there a fucking squirrel down there with like a helmet?
Yes, she's got a little spacesuit with a helmet.
Get this bitch a helmet.
That's what I'm saying.
She'll be right at home in Bikini Bottom.
Scientist
and that
squirrel.
is the extent of my knowledge.
You know
of
a lot.
SpongeBob.
I was gonna say.
You hate SpongeBob. That was impressive.
You have to know your enemy, okay?
That's
know
true.
know thine enemy, and
thine
also
enemy.
like it's just infiltrated pop culture.
It's a pervasive. It's carved out a pervasive space in pop culture history, and it's been on for a long time. You know, so
not long enough that I watched it when it was age appropriate for me. Is all I'm gonna say.
it's age appropriate for everyone. Anyway,
Oh, can I tell a quick story?
yes, of course. While
I
you're
was
doing
such
that,
a-
I'm gonna light this J that I rolled for myself and forgot to
Beautiful.
smoke.
I was such a narc in 7th grade, apparently. No, 6th grade. Mrs. Blee's 6th grade, like, English class, whatever, at MMW. I was on the blue team. And there was a boy in my class named Blalix Blummers. You'll never guess what his actual name is. Alleged. This is all alleged, by the way.
In your opinion.
We had to write like a book report or some kind of report on something. And I had recently babysat at the neighbors up the hill from my house. Amanda, you'll know.
Yep.
Their house was it was like a really like posh version of your house on Tamarack. Like there was a glass top dining room table. Everything was pastels. They had framed photos that had like relief paper that looked like seashells and sand and like do you know the aesthetic I'm talking about?
This is so
very pastel.
like early 90s, late 80s,
Late 80s,
Midwestern, nice.
But expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm from the Midwest too. And like that's like your
wave
one
kinda
rich friend's house.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Leather couch.
Was it white?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm there.
It might have been like cream, but like
Yeah.
everything was kind of cream.
Mentally,
or
I'm on
glass.
that white leather couch in the rich friend's 80s pastel house.
I can smell it. I can smell it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a beige tile in the kitchen. Anyway, so we all have the vibe. Babysitting at that house, I watched my first and only probably 2 episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. We watched Real Monsters and
love
also
that show.
Rugrats.
Best show.
But like an episode or 2 of SpongeBob kind of crept in there, so those are literally the only episodes I've ever watched.
Well,
But Schmalix Schmummers, whatever I said, Blalix Blummers, shows up to our English class the next Monday morning and he turns in a report. He didn't even try to change the names to like, Betsy and Bob. He used SpongeBob and Patrick and just wrote a synopsis of this whole episode.
of an
And
episode
he's-
that you had just watched while babysitting?
Yes. And he stood up in front of the class and read the whole fucking thing
And you were
without
like-
even having changed SpongeBob and whatever.
That's
and
not
was
Wuthering Heights. That's an episode of fucking SpongeBob. You cheater.
This was in 1997 or 1998. So like there was no such thing as like word processing or like the internet really for kids of our age.
Yeah. We had to do research from encyclopedia
He just
books.
word for word like a fucking Bloron. Like everyone's names. And then afterwards I went up to Mrs. Blee as if she hadn't picked up on it.
She
I was
knew.
like, just so you know, that was the episode of SpongeBob that aired last week on Nickelodeon, like word for word. She was like, thank you for letting me know.
I normally wouldn't do this. I'm
I
not
would
like this,
never.
I promise.
I'm
But
normally not like this, but I cannot let this one stand. I just
Can't.
saw this episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
if it starts here, where does it fucking end?
Where does it
Miss
fucking
Blee?
end?
Exactly.
Can we
my
just
soul is troubled for every moment that goes by that I don't tell you this.
Yes,
is weighing
that's
heavy.
fair.
Weighing heavy on your heart.
He was not in our accelerated English class the next semester.
Well,
Got dropped.
I'm glad you've confessed this.
Yes, I am too. I've held it.
You've held that for a really long time.
Listen,
But you know what
Anyway,
you
we can
haven't
move on.
held?
a
A
baby
kangaroo.
kangaroo.
It all circles back.
True.
A tranquilized
Kangaroo.
kangaroo.
A tranquilized Sheila kangaroo. According to Alabama State Troopers, a minor two-vehicle crash involving the kangaroo occurred around 11:50 a.m. Tuesday, April 29th. This literally just happened. As we record this happened like 2 days ago.
Can you imagine trying to explain that to your insurance
2
agent?
days ago.
You're
Yeah,
like, listen, there was a kangaroo on the freeway. You gotta
I'm
give me a
gonna
break on
level
this
with
one.
you.
What state are they in? Like Missouri?
They're in Alabama.
Alabama.
Oh, Alabama. Yeah.
It
Jake
escaped
from State Farm is like, I don't.
no.
We don't have your back that much.
We don't. She escaped from like a petting zoo a couple miles away. There's like a petting zoo and kids, whatever. It's probably some sketchy ass zoo. We've talked about these like
Absolutely.
roadside. If the animal can escape, that zoo is probably not super great.
Not great. And especially if it's in
Patrick
rural
Starr,
Alabama.
just in the middle of Alabama, hanging out with his kangaroo. I don't know. Something's off.
We just talked about this story, actually, because I thought it was the most insane thing I'd ever seen, and I had to tell my co-host. And literally all she kept asking was, why does he have a fucking kangaroo in Mississippi or wherever it is? And I was like,
there are a lot of
Why
states.
not?
It's a free country, I guess.
There are a lot of states that allow exotic animal ownership like that.
Oh, I've seen Tiger King.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
State troopers say the minor crash happened when vehicles slowed down to avoid the animal. Fortunately,
You
everyone's
just gotta
okay.
drive through it. You gotta drive right
it's
through
actually
it.
more dangerous to slow down and get out of the way. You just gotta speed up, hit her head on.
Animals are animals.
You're actually
You're in
that
deer
is when
country
it gets
now.
dangerous.
No, I know. I was
You're
gonna say
supposed to just go through.
That's
I
what you're
mean-
taught. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about Midwest driver's ed.
Yep.
The worst things can happen when you freak out, try to
You
adjust
gotta get
for a deer.
bloodthirsty.
You gotta get bloodthirsty.
But
But no, nobody was harmed, including Sheila. Everyone is okay. Both southbound and northbound lanes were temporarily closed as ALEA troopers and the kangaroo's owner worked to recover the animal. Star tells Warble Sheila was safely darted and returned to her enclosure.
Like it's the Hunger Games out there.
Seriously, I was like,
she
what?
attended a darty.
So casual.
Not a darty.
Star says a team of AU
Not a
University veterinarians are with her, and Sheila is awake and munching on her hay. Star says she's doing just fine, no injuries, just a bit more famous than she was yesterday. Quote, she's well, she's safe, and she's grounded, said Star.
You know what? I'm coming out with my conspiracy right here.
Let's
This
go.
this was a publicity stunt.
For their zoo.
Sheila was released on purpose.
Totally.
100%. Patrick Star is behind this.
Absolutely.
I'm so thankful to everyone who slowed down and made sure she didn't get hurt. So glad everyone's safe.
And look at us. We're doing
And
his
the
bidding.
two Paul brothers are also behind this.
Listen, it's definitely whatever this conspiracy is, it's fucking working because here I am really kind of wanting to go pay a visit
Look
to
at
Sheila.
us. We're sheeple, clearly.
We're sheeple. We're sheeple.
Listen.
All right, this next one's out of the Philly area. The Philly area
Philly areola.
comes from phillymag.com in their City Life section. And, you know, it's a road rage incident that fortunately did not end in gunfire, but did end in ass fire.
Oh,
And
salacious.
I actually have to upload one more image to the drive because the look on this woman's face, she looks so fucking pleased with herself. And when you find out why, you'll be curious.
Oh, is it this blonde lady smiling?
Yep.
She does look very proud of herself.
She really does. All right. I'll get back to it. There's also video that I have to play just for you to hear the audio. This is the strange case of the Delco pooper.
Okay.
One of the things that's fun about this job is that it truly changes daily. Boring it is not. I wake up in the morning never knowing what funny, awful, or bizarre thing happened. And well, sometimes, not often, something happens that is the funny, awful, bizarre trifecta. And so I give you the so-called Delco pooper. Details are a little slim on this one, but when you have the public pitchforking, and believe me, the pitchforks are out, over someone they are calling the Delco pooper, it's hard not to delve into the rabbit hole. So based on everything I've viewed, here's the situation. On Tuesday, at the intersection of 4th and Madison in Prospect Park, there was some sort of road rage dispute. And one of the people involved in said road rage dispute did something that no one expected. Something heretofore unthinkable. The woman, seen in the photo above, walked over to a gray car. She squatted on the hood, and well, it appears that she pooped. Then she walked away with a defiant, almost giggly smile. That's the smile I'm referencing. The woman in the gray car then calls the Delco pooper a slut.
Oh.
Which in my thinking is an awful thing to call someone, but is also the least bad thing that could happen after someone poops on the hood of the car that you're sitting in.
She
I've
was
been called
showing
worse
hole.
after I
She was showing
on a
hole.
car.
Showing hole on the interstate, okay?
Truly.
I don't
I
like
mean,
the
what
S
is a
word,
slut?
but, you know, yeah.
What is a slut if not one who shows hole on the interstate?
Yeah,
I'm a slut. I did it in New Jersey.
proudly.
New Jersey's the perfect state for that.
Uh-huh. Oh, I had diarrhea in a drainage ditch off the side of the Jersey Turnpike.
Showing hole.
I showed hole on the Jersey Turnpike.
That phrase will never not crack me up.
I
It's
love
so gross.
showing hole.
It's so gross.
I always yell at my cats for showing hole.
Oh, that's like 90% of being a cat is showing hole. Everybody
Yes.
knows that.
It is.
show
Well,
hole.
actually, okay, that's funny. I was going to include this. I think Andrea sent it to me, and then I forgot, but now I'm thinking of it. A kid, like an element or middle school kid, did a science fair experiment using their cats to find out if it's true that their butthole makes contact with everything they sit on. How
I want to know.
How do you think they conducted the experiment?
Ink blot right on the pole.
Close.
Ink hole? Ink hole, stink hole. Sorry, that threw me off.
Something was applied to their stink hole. It was not ink.
Vaseline.
Not ink. Yeah,
Something else
Something
that
luminescent.
sticky?
leaves
Something
a trace.
that leaves a trace.
You're gonna hate it when I
Luminescent.
tell you. Are you ready?
I'm
Something
really
that shines under
nervous.
black light.
No. Lipstick. They put lipstick on the cat holes and then followed them around and checked everywhere they sat.
They
And
had little kitty kisses.
they did not. Only a few
Oh.
places in the home did kitty kisses show up, and they were on like soft materials,
Oh, like carpet or
Okay.
couch or
Yup.
something.
but nothing on chairs, countertops.
They've got fur and they've got really thin little butt cheeks.
I know.
Oh. Well, I have heard that anecdote about like
They won the
the
science fair,
vet
by the way.
clinic that has the Sphinx cat, the hairless cat,
Mhm.
that leaves little puckered butthole marks on everything it sits on.
It could happen.
So if it's not a hairless cat,
Yeah,
I
that
bet
it's-
hairless cats leave little pucker marks on everything.
I bet they do. I
Listen.
bet they do.
For science, we're
Oh
gonna need
my
to get
God.
to the closest hairless cat we have available
Yeah.
and
I don't
get
know
get a
any.
nice
I do.
shade, get a nice shade of red.
I have a friend who
Get
only
to
has
work.
hairless
Shade of
cats
red,
because
a
they're
nice
allergic.
burgundy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes me think of that
Really?
episode of Seinfeld where he gets really weird about her putting on lipstick because her mouth looks like a butthole when she does it.
Well,
I don't remember that one.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it was a Seinfeld episode.
so anyway, back to this showing
No,
hole.
I want to talk about cat assholes a lot more.
So the writer goes on to say, how do I know all of this? Because I've seen video of the Delco pooper in action. And the video, which is not available for me to link to any public forums, it's circulating in private members-only groups, makes her dirty deed quite clear. I'm not allowed to show you the full squatting incident, but the powers that be say I can show you the aftermath. The aftermath is a wet shit blast on the hood of like a gray Toyota minivan.
Okay, so
It's
we're talking
really gross.
glad.
This is like a truck. This is like a truck stop shit. This is not clean shit.
No, no. It literally says, I should warn you that it is graphic in a you just walked into a gas station bathroom kind of
Wow,
way.
okay,
It's a spray.
It's a spray.
But the
okay.
audio from the video is amazing because you can hear the driver calling her a slut. So I'm just going to play it for you really quick.
Okay.
You're a fucking slut! And then it zooms in on the front of the minivan, and it is indeed painted
Oh
with
my
shit.
gosh.
Oh, you're a fucking slut!
Oh,
You
How
know
is
that
that
was
what comes to mind?
That was such a panic moment for her.
I know.
Like,
If I
imagine.
just watch someone shit on a car that's in a roadway, I don't think that is where my mind would go. But
Slut.
Listen,
You're a fucking slut.
that experience of watching
Oops,
someone
what?
shit on glass in front of you is usually reserved for billionaires in Dubai. So I
That's
don't
true.
think the common folk was ready for that.
Yeah, honestly, we should
No.
be paying up.
It was above them.
This was all the talk of Delco on Wednesday.
You don't deserve scat.
You don't deserve my scat or my hole.
You haven't earned it.
No.
By
All
late
for you.
Wednesday night, internet sleuths believed they had identified the woman based on the visual similarities of the Delco pooper and
The Delco pooper.
and the Facebook profile photo of a woman who lives in Delco. But that woman, who I am not naming here, swears she's not the Delco pooper. Perhaps a DNA swab could clear this up? Prospect Park Police Chief Dave Madonna tells me that his department is investigating the messy incident. Quote, "We can't have things like this happening in Prospect Park." Lots of people actually seem to think that the whole Delco pooper video is a fake, but here, Chief Madonna explains why they are full of, well, shit, you know. So yeah, then they go on to talk about other things that are illegal to do other than shitting on a car in the middle of the street. But that was the gist of it. But for the video audio alone, and you do get to see the poop if you click the video. I'm not going to include that. I'm not going to force wet poop on you. But I love the video.
Thank you.
Oh, you're a fucking slut.
Fucking slut. That's a journey you have to take on your own, I think, finding that video. That's something you have to really sit with and deal with yourself.
It is a journey you have to take on your own. And I took you as far as I can take you. And now it's your turn.
Yeah, thank you, my guide.
You are so welcome. Okay, I have a
My
couple
Sherpa.
more for you. This next one also has video audio that I want to play for you.
Gorgeous.
Jesus.
And as I was reading it, I thought to myself, you know, whiteness can, of course, be insidious.
Oh,
But
yeah.
in this case, it's just deeply unserious. And also, this is like definitely something I would only expect to catch white people doing.
Okay, yeah, checks out.
So this is from cbc.ca. This is I think this article
Canadian.
is Canadian, but this happens not in Canada, not in the US. Of course, it happens in fucking Denmark because y'all are fucking weird as shit. The headline reads, "She felt like life had no meaning, so she started screaming like a gull."
A gull?
Like a seagull.
Once again, the deep respect and fear of birds.
Correct.
Listen,
Comes
I
full
didn't
circle.
give anyone license to publish my story.
Honestly, I could see you after a Menti bee absolutely doing this.
Screaming like a gull.
Screaming like a gull in a costume. Life got you
Oh.
down? Try throwing your head back and screeching like a gull. That's what Anna Breinolds did. A personal loss a few years ago inspired the Danish woman to chase her dreams, no matter how silly. So she signed up for the 2025 European Championship Gull Screeching Contest and won the gold.
The gold.
The gold. Quote, "It was so refreshing to meet so many people that just like seagulls like me. I like that the seagulls like fries because I love fries and they're just a bit misunderstood like me and they're cute."
Oh, okay.
Fries or the gulls?
The gulls. Sunday's competition drew gull lovers from all over Europe to the Belgian coastal town of Japan. Dressed in gull costumes, 60 participants, 60, from 14 countries.
It's Eurovision for bird
Europe.
lovers.
It's Eurovision
It's like down
for,
the street.
for specifically seagull calls.
Yeah.
Got on stage at the De Verloren Garanor Cafe and belched out their best gull imitations in 3 categories: adult, junior, and colony. So like group.
They could imitate a whole colony?
I guess. A jury
God.
awarded points based on sound and performance. One contestant did her best gull impression by stopping between squawks to lunge her face into a bag of crisps, drawing ruckus applause from the crowd. So the showmanship is really important.
Yeah.
But although they don't base their scoring on costumes or, you know,
It's part of it.
act.
I think that would be part of the performance. I just put another picture on the drive of more of these
I'm looking
Gull.
at these pictures. Horrifying. If I saw this in the wild, I would probably walk into the ocean.
It's really a lot.
I'm glad you're explaining these photos because I was a
no
little
context,
unsettled.
They're terrifying.
It looks like a horror movie. Every bit of it. And
Colored contacts.
Oh,
Stop.
man.
Yeah, they go the details.
The kids in their costumes are pretty cute. They're just wearing like a classic. It's like a hood with the little
Funny
beak.
you mentioned the kids because Cooper Wallace, 10 of Chesterfield, England, won the junior category for the second year running. While an Italian group called Partisan Seagulls won the colony category. And that's all the guys with the big, they look like they made the noses by cutting the fingers off of those yellow, like, dishwashing gloves.
Absolutely.
I think that's exactly
what they
did.
did. And then tying them on string and wrapping them around their face. And then they
This
just
one
glued some
guy that
feathers
has
to them.
a feather taped to his arm.
His wrist.
Like, these guys are on a bar crawl.
They're
not
hammered.
taking
They're
it
all
nearly.
holding beers.
They're not taking it nearly as seriously as, say, the person
Cooper
in
Wallace.
the yellow contact lenses with the white bald cap.
Yeah,
Very-
that might be our winner. That might be
Very
our girl who
spooky.
would like, I thought I had nothing to live for until I started squawking like a seagull and now I'm okay.
I just
Which,
gotta
like,
know,
Really passionate.
how do these people find each other?
I mean, these contests in Denmark, I guess.
The glory of the internet.
Incredible.
Quote, the seagull lives everywhere. The seagull can adjust and be resilient and stay in every environment, Italian Victor Enrico Pitaluga said. Victor not being his name, Victor being that he was one of the winning groups. That should be the goal of humanity always. Okay, get off your soapbox. Breinald said, Anna Breinald says she prepared for the contest by practicing her shockingly high pitch at home, online, and in the wild. Quote, I worked with the seagulls. I went to the beach and I looked at many seagulls and I thought they looked nice and I screeched at them, but they became scared of me, she said.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Quote, maybe I'm saying something wrong in seagull language. I don't know.
In gullies.
Yeah.
She's accidentally just calling them a bunch of slurs. They're like,
Of
oh
course,
my
she was calling them all sluts, poop sluts.
Yeah, you fucking sluts.
If it sounds ludicrous, that's the point. Breinald says the loss of her best friend 2.5 years ago taught her the importance of prioritizing frivolity and fun. Yeah, if you died, I'd probably turn into a seagull person too. Oh my God, there's another amazing photo. Hold on.
I'm so scared.
Holy shit. It's her doing a victory flap.
Oh, not a victory
flap. Fucking stop. A victory flap.
Look at it. Her costume is gorgeous. She clearly worked hard on it.
I'm reloading so I can see it. Oh, come on, baby. Don't let me down now.
Yeah, victory flap.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She's a goddess.
Her costume work is incredible. She's got to be involved
It's really good.
in local theater or something.
She said,
I can see Scott in this contest.
1,000%. She said about her best friend, quote, he died and I got an existential crisis. I couldn't see the meaning in life. Then I remembered that's the beautiful thing. If there isn't any meaning in life, that means I can do literally everything I want. I can make seagull sounds because I don't care. I might not be here tomorrow. I just want to do what's fun and not think about what other people think about me. Yes, queen.
You know what?
Hey.
I'm in full support.
I know.
I love this lady.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, okay, you were asking where do people like this meet? Well, this contest was started by comedian Claude Willert. The European Championship Gull Screeching Contest partners with research and conservation organizations to help change the narrative about our fry-eating feathered friends.
Change the narrative.
I love the fry.
I know, they really are into fries.
We're hammering that home like pretty heavy.
They really are.
Big Fry is out here doing some work.
Yeah, this is fry propaganda again.
Fry propaganda. While gulls may appear plentiful, their populations are in fact declining worldwide, driven by a loss of nesting habitats and food.
Oh.
Quote, some people hate them. They see them like rats of the sea because they can peck open rubbish bags, because they screech a lot. They make a lot of noise. They breed on roofs and they leave their droppings everywhere. said Jen Sayes, president of the jury and spokesperson for the Flanders Marine Institute. But the contrast is that these seagulls also belong to the coast. They are an essential part of the seacoast, and their sounds, their calls, and their acrobatic behavior, it's just part of the seacoast. So you need to balance that. We need some more sympathy for the seagulls.
Preach.
So I am going to play you this 18-second clip. Nope, not that.
Is this the finalists' call?
Of the gulls.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
People think seagulls are annoying.
Some people hate them. They see them like rats of the sea. They screech a lot. They make a lot of noise. They leave their droppings everywhere. It's just part of the seacoast. So you need to balance that. We need some more sympathy for the seagulls. Well, we started like
These are
6-7 years
contestants.
ago with less participants. Then it was a Belgian championship. Now it has really grown to a European championship with 14 countries. It's amazing.
I came from Denmark.
That's her doing her victory flap.
European Championship in seagull sounds. I feel good, I think. I was a bit nervous.
I feel good, I
I
think.
think that they're
Anyway.
actually good.
It's fucking delightful. And yeah, the seagull sounds are like actually really accurate. I would have just thought it was
Yeah.
seagulls. So that's another video adventure that I
Wow.
highly recommend people go on because it's
Obsessed.
absolutely incredible.
I loved that. Thank you for bringing that to my my awareness. I think
so
that's an
glad.
important thing. Yeah.
It's we have to conserve the seagulls. Okay, I have one more for you that I just think is perfect to end on. It is like so. It felt so British, which makes sense. It's from the BBC, but
Sorry, just before you say this one, just some deep Cassidy Liston lore.
yes,
My grandpa was the world
A
champion.
seagull?
Was the world champion turkey caller for like 2 years in a row.
World?
Hold up, back up. Holy shit! When did he get into that?
Did he pass on his prowess to you?
I am really into birding and I can do a lot of bird calls, but
Bitch.
I can't do
We
a
had you on the
turkey.
wrong episode.
Okay, well, you can't do a turkey. Give us one you can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go. Holy shit!
Sorry, I'm
fuck
trying to
is
do
that?
it quiet so it doesn't like blow out, but I can do like a loon. I can do like sparrow calls.
What did you just do just now?
That's like a type of loon. So,
Oh,
but I'm trying. It
Cool.
probably doesn't sound right because I'm trying to do it quiet because it's really loud. when you
It
do it.
sounded
loud.
really cool.
do it loud. John can fix it.
Yeah, fuck John.
Let me see.
Just kidding. We love John, but don't hold back. That's terrifying.
God.
Very good. Very, very. You know what? Here we
I
go.
was a real hit in middle school.
I bet you were.
I wasn't weird at all. I was actually
You remind me.
super normal.
You remind me. You remind me of the character in Drop Dead Gorgeous. who
They
does the
remade my
dog
belly with
barks.
skin from my butt.
German Shepherd.
That is now streaming on Tubi, not an ad. Please go watch it. Okay, this is my last article of the day. It's very British, so I will be doing it in a British accent.
Oh, thank God.
Penis count debate rages over Bayeux tapestry. Debate is raging amongst historians over the number of penises included on the Bayeux tapestry. The original embroidery is still kept in Bayeux, France, and depicts the Norman conquest of England, but a replica created in the late 19th century is held at Reading Museum. Most of the penises were not transferred onto the replica by the Leek Embroidery Society.
What are we
which made
talking
it
about here?
A tapestry, an
Yes.
old tapestry, covered
With
in
misplaced penises?
covered in dudes hanging brain, as well as like a penis border. And there's debate over how many penises are on the tapestry. And there's a difference between the original tapestry and the recreation that most people can see in the Reading Museum, because the recreation was made by more Victorian era, pure of mind, and didn't want to make all the penises.
They wanted fewer dicks in there.
Correct.
Or no dicks.
Correct. Most of the penises were not transferred onto the replica by the Leek Embroidery Society, which made it, after it was given censored etchings, engravings, and photos of it to work from. So the Embroidery Society only had X amount of reference photos, but they had been, like, censored a bunch. It's crazy. Oxford academic Professor George Garnett counted 93 penises in 2018, with 88 belonging to horses and another 5 to men.
No, the ratio's way off.
We have the horses hanging dong too. Okay.
So
we got
much
more.
horse dong.
We got to get more dude dicks.
But Dr. Christopher Monk said he had counted 1 more on another man. Professor Garnett said he believed he was still correct and that the potential penis was the scabbard of a man's dagger because, quote, right at its end is a yellow blob, which he took to be brass. Quote, if you look at what are incontrovertibly penises in the tapestry, none of them have a yellow blob on the end.
Stop talking about yellow blobs on the end of a penis. It's
He
disgusting.
told the History Extra podcast.
No.
Either way, Professor Garnett says the Bayeux Tapestry at 70 meters, 230 feet long, and about a half meter, 1.7 feet high, is, quote, by far the most splendid and largest surviving textile art from the period.
You can fit a lot of dicks in there.
The men's
gorgeous.
penises are included in the border of the embroidery, but there is no agreement about why they are there. Quote, it might be that the penises are just there for fun and for levity. That's what some scholars say, said Dr. David Musgrove.
Have you never seen a locker at a school before?
Come on.
Or like a desk?
Yeah, this is all they had was tapestry.
Just draw dicks on shit. It's funny.
Quote,
See the
some say
point?
the figures are making some sort of commentary on the action in the main scene. Some
Not
sort
even.
of subversive commentary, perhaps even casting doubt on the probity of some of the characters in the main scene. While some people say there's something to do with Aesop's fables. Quote, there are lots of interesting theories. We don't know really, to be honest, but it's very interesting that they're there. And that's the end of the article.
Splendid.
I feel like the article just leaves a lot of gaps.
What's the
Like, I get, after your explanation, I get what you're talking about, but they
Counted
still
98
don't really
penises.
fill in the blanks that much.
With 88 belonging to horses.
Horses.
I just love that they have the horses all bricked up in the tapestry.
100%.
Crazy.
No shit.
Good horse representation.
You can't see
Anyway.
a horse's dick unless it's,
Bricked up.
want to be seen.
Yeah.
Fully bricked. All right, well, I've
bricked.
monopolized almost an hour of your time, so that's where I'm going to leave it today. Thank you to everyone who sent in these incredible articles for this month. And if you want to send over something for Gossip of the Corpse Cart, whether it is a funny headline or a Coven Confession, which we're about to get to, or a Coroner Corner, you can go to our website, wineandcrimepodcast.com, and under Contact Us, there's like a little drop-down menu, like little email thing, and you can pick what you want to yell at us about. So pick funny headlines. Send it in my way. All right, let's take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors and then come back and give Cass the mic.
Can't wait. This episode of Wine and Crime is brought to you by Graza, which is my new favorite olive oil. It's
the
also
best.
Corey's favorite, which says a lot because he's very picky
He's a
with his
literal
ingredients.
chef.
This olive oil is fresh, it's never blended, and it comes from a single type of olive, the Picual, straight out of Jaén, Spain, where over half the world's olive oil is produced.
Oh my gosh. This olive oil is so amazing, and they have different kinds. But like, here's why it's so great. You get that single origin goodness. There's only one olive from one region in this olive oil. No mysterious blends. And that means you've got a traceable, fresher product without mixing in any lower grade or unknown oils. They also use these super fun squeeze and spray bottles, so you have no more messy tins or drippy spouts. You just aim, you squeeze, and you go.
I love the squeezing. It's very satisfying.
It's very satisfying, and there really is like no spill.
No.
And then this is my favorite part about their products. There are 3 types of oil to cover any task you may be doing in the kitchen. So they have Frizzle, their newest type. This has a higher 490 degree Fahrenheit smoke point. So this is perfect for frying, crisping, or grilling.
Your air fryer.
Oh, babe. I used Frizzle for grilling asparagus a couple weeks ago. So good. Then they have Sizzle, which has a 410 degree Fahrenheit smoke point. This is an everyday cooking oil. You can use this for roasting, marinating, sauteing, and then my personal favorite, Drizzle. This is a bold, punchy finishing oil that you can sprinkle on salads. You can dip bread in it. You can even top off ice cream with it. I've been eating a lot of salad, and I will literally just use some like nice red wine vinaigrette and the Drizzle with some salt and pepper. Babe, you got yourself a salad dressing. It's done.
It's so good.
It's so delicious. So yeah, I mean, this is an oil that I leave out on my counter because I know we're gonna use it every day. I'm a huge fan of it. I cook so much in this oil, and then yeah, I've just been like making dressing left and right. And if you order, you get 10% off your first order on Graza's site. But I personally suggest grabbing the trio because that's all 3 squeezy bottles. You get the Sizzle, the Frizzle, and the Drizzle. So you're set for every style of cooking. I have all 3. And let me tell you, they are in rotation. Like we use them all.
So head to graza.co and use GALS to get 10% off of Trio, which includes Sizzle, Frizzle, and Drizzle. And get to cooking your next chef quality meal.
Listen, if you are a renter, you got to be taking advantage of Built. If I had this when I was renting, my God.
Honey.
I know.
Yeah.
So, we're out here racking up points on all kinds of stuff. We're racking up points on groceries, travel, nearly everything else. So why are we not racking up points on one of our biggest monthly expenses? Well, with Built, paying rent can finally pay off.
There's no cost to join, and just by paying rent, you unlock flexible points that can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. When you pay rent through Built, you unlock 2 powerful benefits. First, you earn one of the industry's most valuable points on rent every month. No matter where you live or who your landlord is, your rent now works for you. Second, you gain access to exclusive neighborhood benefits in your city. Built's neighborhood benefits are things like extra points on dining out, complimentary post-workout shakes, free mats or towels at your favorite fitness studios, and unique experiences that only Built members can access. And when you're ready to travel, Built points can be converted to your favorite miles and hotel points around the world, meaning your rent can literally take you places. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, what are you waiting for?
Start paying rent through Built and take advantage of your neighborhood benefits by going to joinbuilt.com/gals. That's JOINBILT.com/gals. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/gals to sign up for Built today. Okay, so last night, Beans came into the bedroom at like 2 a.m. and recently she's been trying to find her voice. So she started meowing in this really squeaky way.
That is precious.
It was precious, but also she's like not a meowing cat. She really only meows when like Bill is making her wet food. So I actually was like kind of concerned at first because your pets...
Timmy fell down the well.
Yeah, your pets like... The way they talk to you is the way they talk to you, but you can't always know what their sounds mean or what they're trying to tell you. Fortunately, in this case, she was trying to tell me, lift up the blanket, I want to go under the covers. But like,
but it could have been my liver hurts.
Who knows? And you do everything you can to keep your cat healthy. I mean, I sure do. We're getting her the best treats. We're giving her the best food. She's got the best toys. And of course, we're also using Pretty Litter because this is the best litter and a total game changer and can kind of ease your mind about what that meow might mean every once in a while.
Absolutely. Pretty Litter helps monitor your cat's health, detecting abnormalities in your cat's urine by testing acidity and alkalinity levels and showing the visible presence of blood. Mm-hmm. So this is like a crystal litter, and you can see everything, but also this kind of litter is so perfect for like a small space or like if you live in an apartment.
Yeah.
Because it's completely scoopable. It lasts forever. It's non-toxic, it's pet safe, and it's household friendly. Plus it ships free right to your door. And because it's like the crystals, it's low dust, it controls odors, and it lasts for up to a month.
Yep.
So this sucker, my litter boxes are in my basement in my laundry room.
Same.
And I'm just impressed at how long, because I could ignore those litter boxes. And I have in the past, but Pretty Litter just makes it so much easier to like keep up on it. And the dust and the stink is just like so greatly reduced.
Yeah. And you
It's
want to
perfect.
check because like I like want to go down and be like, okay, what color is my cat's pee today?
Oh yeah. If it's glowing blue,
Yep.
if it's glowing like luminol, take your kitty to the vet because they're not going to tell you on their own.
And right now you can save 20% on your first order and get a free cat toy at prettylitter.com/gals. That's prettylitter.com/gals to save 20% on your first order and get a free cat toy. prettylitter.com/gals. Pretty Litter cannot detect every feline health issue or prevent or diagnose diseases. A diagnosis can only come from a licensed veterinarian. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
All right, we're back to hear some Coven Confessions from Cass.
Oh my God.
CCC.
I'm excited. None of us, including our lovely guest today, have read these, so we don't know
None of
where
the three
this
of
is
us
going.
have read these at all. This is a complete cold read.
I'm nervous
So-
because you told me that they were selected for me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And who knows,
yes.
anything
To
could happen.
Andrea,
I'm afraid Andrea's going to know me better than I know myself. Is
a
really
lot
the
of
fear.
guests,
she's
guests
very-
leave feeling that way.
Yeah.
She's very witchy too, so she just may have like entered your mind.
She
Oh,
was
yeah.
like
She'll do your
throwing
birth
bones
chart.
and she had
Probably.
crystals out and stuff. I could
Oh,
Chucking
definitely.
bones, flipping cards.
feel it all over the place. All right, well,
Yeah,
let's get
she's
started.
spooky. All right, let's do it.
After listening to your episode, Conspiracy Theory Crimes, there we go. I wanted
Perfect.
to share how my ex joined a cult. In 2014, I graduated high school and started to attend a radically liberal college known for its alternative learning styles and openness for queer folks like myself.
This is always how it starts. Slippery slope.
Now you sound like my uncle.
Yeah, mine too.
Higher ed, queer.
Liberal radical?
Oh,
I was so excited to start my journey of slutting it up on campus while digging
slut.
into feminist theory and making art. One night, there was this relatively cute guy who I helped out with some coding, in more ways than one. He came from a pretty liberal family, but had never
many
had
ways
sex.
could there
I don't. Is that like a sex thing that I should know about? I'll code you.
Do you want to come over and help with my coding?
I mean,
wink,
maybe.
wink.
I would
We're
totally get
old.
tricked.
Me too.
We are old. Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know what coding really even is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't even understand the actual literal definition of it, so I'm hands off
Who
there.
does? Well, these
This,
smart people.
this
do,
person.
I'm picking up a suggestion that there was a sexual factor.
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, he came from a pretty liberal family, but had never had sex before or had been in a serious relationship. I was looking for something casual, but things got out of hand quickly, and I hesitantly moved off campus to live with him.
Oh,
To live with him?
You know, the most
Whoa.
casual thing you can do.
that escalated so fast.
That's it.
Oh my God.
So I took his virginity, and then the next day I moved in.
But it's casual.
Classic virgin.
It's casual.
So fast forward 3 years, I'm about to graduate college, and I'm still dating this guy. I had made my goals very clear. I wanted to move to New York for my career in the arts, get married, save up to travel, and then live abroad in France for a while.
Okay.
All of these goals he called, quote, a bit much.
Okay.
It's a bit much to live in France
Bit
for a
much.
while.
It was a bit
Fuck off.
much to take your virginity and then fucking throw my life away in
Literally.
college and move in with your boring ass. Boo.
It's around
Never
Boo.
take a man's virginity. It's just, It requires constant maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't apply to me. I only did it once, and then I moved away like 5 days later.
Well, see, that's the way it should be
you had some
done.
maintenance.
So
there's always aftercare involved, which is a healthy thing, but like emotional.
yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't
How
thinking about
long,
that at
you know?
17 years old.
No.
So
You wanted to
it's
lay on your friend's futon.
Correct.
not the futon. Is that a universal experience?
Yes,
It was the back of
futon.
his mom's car, and we got caught by the cops and then disassociated at Taco Bell after to recover.
Something uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Something where you can feel like the springs or like the structure of the thing you're sitting on.
Yeah. If you don't lose your virginity on something you might fall off of, you're probably doing it wrong. You know what I
I
mean?
lost my virginity in a bed like an adult.
Wow.
But
Wow.
pretty good.
yeah,
Miss
Ahead of
hoity-toity
my
over
time.
here. Better
ahead
than
of my
us.
time.
So it's around this time when the red flags start popping up like daisies. First red flag, he had dropped out of our school, blaming the stifling PC campus culture.
Oh, no.
Red flag number 2, he started getting into entrepreneurship culture. And red flag number 3, he quit a stable job for no apparent reason other than blaming his female peers.
They're all crazy. I can't work with them.
I'm sensing a pipeline forming. Maybe you've heard of it.
Totally.
Yeah, you're watching someone like take the red pill right in front of your
Yes.
fucking eye in your house. Get
Uh-huh.
out.
Get out.
Jesus Christ.
Meanwhile, I'm working a full-time job, struggling with my chronic illness, and paying for all of his shit. I was in total denial. We had grown distant, and he started arguing with me about my political perspective. It was disrupting his trust in me.
Okay.
Cue more
Bye.
red flags.
Sorry about it. Bye.
Yeah, literally.
Good. Don't trust me.
Women are people. No,
No.
you're violating my
Oh my
trust
God.
in
Look
you.
at Blanche.
part is
Speaking
so
of not
insane.
trusting.
Why is she doing? Why is he
He-
doing that?
He's arrived.
Yeah.
He heard about
there.
scamming and evil men, and he was like, me too.
He heard me talking shit about him and he came
He
up.
heard about red pilling and was like, "What'd you want?"
You want to see
Blanche is
my
red
eyes?
pilled for sure. I see it.
Oh, 1,000%. Look at his eyes.
His eyes are red. His eyes are red pills.
He's so emo. Oh, there's beans.
God,
So he starts
puckered
Showing
cat
hole.
asshole.
showing hole.
Jesus Christ!
On theme. On theme.
Get the lipstick.
Cue more red flags. He starts
Oh, no.
stealing money, small amounts of money from my bank account so he can self-publish a book on, quote, self-motivation.
Yes. You know what? No, yes.
And he wants-
support
No,
him.
this is a Mad Lib of every red flag ever.
And he wants me to be a full-time stay-at-home wife. He doesn't have a job.
Yep. I don't care.
But
Get
you're
back
the
in the
stay-at-home
kitchen,
wife.
bitch.
What the heck?
What the fuck?
I don't need a job. I just need you to be barefoot and pregnant.
I was shook. Me too, girl. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't think I would ever be in this situation. So I started chain smoking in secret and abusing
Atta
my
girl.
Xanax to deal with the anxiety of daily life.
Oh.
Gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
Literally.
When
Well,
you get
don't
to the end of
abuse
your
your
rope,
Xanax.
tie a knot and hang on.
Don't abuse your Xanax. We are not condoning abuse of Xanax.
Why not? We don't know that was abuse of Xanax. They were
Proper
probably.
show.
She said
Dosage.
that, and you said, "Do what you got to do."
Oh, I was talking about the
Chain smoking.
the chain smoking.
I know what you were talking about, but that's not how it sounded. So I'm just.
I get
clearing
it.
our-
I get it now.
Julian, our lawyer, needs that clarification.
It's not what I meant.
One day, he says he's going to an event in Boston alone. I figure, sure, why not? I'll have some time to myself to chain smoke in private.
Atta girl.
I'm not one to normally go snooping around my partner's shit, but I
it.
had this very itchy feeling.
Man,
You live together.
So, yeah,
Snoop.
it's your
Yeah.
shit too at this point. Also,
if
you're
you
buying
live
everything.
together, you have every right to everyone else's.
Yes.
That's what I think.
That's your
especially if
fucking
she-
house.
If she's the only one paying rent here, I think you
Yup.
have double right.
Jesus. Oh my God.
That's when
The
I discovered
obligation.
he wasn't just having any boys' day. He had gone to one of the Unite the Right rallies.
No.
I threw my computer across the room. It all came together. His search history was riddled with all the keywords. I tried to tell his family that he was being radicalized, but nobody would listen to me, and they claimed that it was just a phase. Finally, I moved out and spent a couple months disentangling myself from that relationship with the help of my best friend and lots of therapy.
Oh, good.
Seriously. My best friend also happens to be a man. The breakup seemed to be mutual until he came to drop off my stuff and saw my best friend with me, and he started yelling, "I knew it! I knew you were cheating on me the whole time!" And that's when I had enough.
Yes.
I threw whatever I was holding at him and lost it. I yelled at him to get out of my house and told him that he was delusional and I will fuck whoever I want.
Uh-huh.
I calmly apologized to the watching neighbors and never saw him again.
Wow.
I'm so glad she got him out of her fucking house.
Literally. And that they didn't get married.
Fuck out.
Thank God.
Fast forward to 2021. I'm engaged to my best friend, and we have an amazing apartment in Brooklyn. I have the career in the arts that I wanted. I have an amazing, safe, and consensual raunchy sex. And I'm clean and kicked my smoking habit.
Yay!
We also have the cutest little black cat named Lala.
Lala! That's what I'm here for.
I love this.
Right? I discovered from talking to my ex's mom that he joined the LDS church, bought a gun, and cut off all contact with his family. He is now a proud member of the QAnon movement.
Yeah, this all tracks. He was definitely at the Capitol on January 6th. And he was also in the Capitol on January 6th.
He might have been wearing some sort of bear skin
I know. I
thing.
was like, how many big fur hats with horns does this guy own?
Seriously.
As far as you remember.
Well, unfortunately, I think there are a lot of those kinds of guys.
I
It's
know.
not just that one fucking guy.
Well,
There's like a bunch of them.
Did you watch, what was that Netflix show? It only has like 4 episodes. It's British. It's about like the little boy who like murders a classmate.
Yeah, where they're like getting radicalized, like anti-woman.
Yeah, and he started getting into he got on this path because he started watching Adolescence. He started watching those fucking videos
where every single episode is like a one-shot take. That is unbelievable.
That was that kid's first acting job, and the first episode they filmed was his therapy episode where he's basically monologuing and acting the shit out of that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I read about it afterward because Bill and I watched them all in like 2 days. And I was like shell shocked after watching it.
Damn, A Star Is Born.
But that like radicalization,
that particular scene, that was his first. Okay, whatever.
That's the first episode that they filmed.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So he'd obviously been to rehearsal, but this is like he's like that's like one of his first. It's his first like main major acting role ever.
Yeah. Well,
I know, but
I mean, one could point to the idea that feeling is so pervasive that it's like easily accessible to a young actor. To be like, okay, yeah, I can totally channel this.
I mean, for sure. I mean, this kind of shit, like that, the writer's boyfriend was getting into. It's, he got into it, I would say, even a little bit later than a lot of like specifically white teenage boys are getting into some of that like fucking really incel, scary, violent propaganda shit.
Yeah.
I have a little brother who's a teenager, and I mean, I don't know what he watches online or whatever, but I just constantly send him like communist shit because I'm like,
that girl.
you can radicalize, I can radicalize too, bitch. Are you ready? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Another Hassan video.
For real. No, but yeah, you have to be so mindful of what your kids, your siblings, whatever are. It's so easy to access some really
dark shit,
like fucking pervy, dark, scary, mind-altering shit. These are children whose brains are still developing, who have access to some of the most unhinged propaganda that's like meant to target them. It's so scary. The internet is fucking terrifying, and I love
really
it.
I really hope, and also like in 2010, Corey and I taught English in China. So we have experience with like college students in China at that time. And the fact that they were so closed off, and like I just got a real perspective of how important critical thinking is because they don't get exposed to that very much at all, at least at that time. They didn't have really any experience with critical thinking. It was like, here's the material that's given to you, and then you memorize it and you display that, and that's the truth. But here, at least, and then I compare that to like some of my AP English classes in high school. So this would have been like 2003, 2004.
20 plus years ago.
Forever ago. But they're highly contrasted to these kind of like educational ideals, because we were being taught like, okay, find some sources that can prove to you that the Amish lifestyle is a cult, for example. And it's like, you have to think, you know, with these, we have to think critically about A, your sources, B, the things that the topics you're talking about, and like C, I mean, I think the end goal was like, which groups can profit off of whatever findings you come up with. And I don't think that kind of stuff is being taught very widely, at least in the majority of schools right now.
Yeah.
And then let alone, like, I contrast that with the curriculums that we were teaching with our college students in China, and it was diametrically opposed.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it shows kind of like opposite ends of the spectrum, where it's like, I feel like a lot of kids in the US right now can access kind of everything on the internet so easily, and then compare that to other cultures where like the government is very much in control of what websites you can click, like what you can see online. You know, not just in China, but in lots of places, there are very different levels of control over that specific thing. And it's like you get both ends of the spectrum of what can happen when you can take in everything everywhere all at once, and what can happen when you take the few things that you're allowed to access as gospel, essentially. Because why? Like because the government said so, or because so-and-so said so.
There's a weird axis too, where like those things kind of balance out. Like there are pros to not being able to access literally everything on the planet, not only facts, but people's opinions and ideas and like conspiracies and all that stuff. Yeah. Like where is the middle ground? You know, we've gone over this, but
it's terrifying. Good luck, parents.
I was gonna say,
and all these things are happening at the same time.
All of that paired with like chat GPT, right? Nobody Googles, Jesus. Nobody looks things up. They just ask an AI bot that shits out usually the wrong answer. Like critical thinking is at an all-time low for sure. Yeah. But thankfully this gal here got out.
Sorry, we got
No, it's okay.
Totally
Did you like that segue though? See me doing
it?
Yes,
you
I did.
are a
Thank
professional.
You're an expert.
Welcome to Wine and Crime.
So they ended this with, shout out to you amazing gals for cheering me up during my manic episodes and for listening to women. Once things are safe, my fiance and I are planning to go to Paris for a month.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And that's not too much or a bit much, is it?
No, it's really not.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Don't come back, actually.
All right, we got another one here. I just listened to the Fundy Fuckery episode and literally snort laughed the whole way through the psych. The Psychology Today article was so validating because, y'all, I was a fundy nut job. God, she really did look into my history.
Confessions of a fundy nut job.
I was raised
nut job?
extremely conservative Christian, like Baptist, like my parents went to a college where my mom wasn't allowed to wear jeans.
Oh,
yeah.
Any denim at all, or specifically like denim pants?
I think no
jeans?
pants at all. I think it was only skirts. And like,
could you wear a denim skirt?
I'm wearing a denim skirt and I'm pinning
women
the thighs together.
You'll never catch me.
Yeah.
All right. It was the early 2000s and I had 3 small kids. I was raised in the church with its satanic panic and all the trimmings. So when I found out that I was pregnant with my first, I dove into the Christian lifestyle, like all the way in. I freaked out my OB while having my daughter because I spoke in tongues through every contraction.
Oh.
I'm sure he wanted to call CPS on me. And when my kids got bigger, I wouldn't let them watch dragon tales because dragons symbolize the devil in the Bible.
Well, yeah.
I convinced my women's Bible study, which I led, that playing Pokemon would possess their kids because the monsters lit up with unnatural colors when they evolved. Get real. Like evolution's real, you know?
Listen, all of this tracks.
I said this without ever actually seeing a single card or a single episode of the cartoon. We called deviled eggs angel eggs because we weren't going to glorify the devil with that yummy goodness.
I can't handle this.
That makes me like deviled eggs even more.
We're calling them angel eggs from now on.
Angel eggs.
I was in every part of church leadership for 16 years. Every Easter, we would turn a room into a boxing ring and have volunteers dress up as the devil and Jesus to duke it out. I was a worship leader, spoke at women's conferences, ran the daycare, ran the merch table. Yes, there was a merch table. Of course there is. What would real Jesus, if he showed up, flip over if there wasn't a merch table? The whole shebang. We hated, quote unquote, the gays and loved Republicans. I was a total asshole. Luckily, I got a job and moved my family as far across Texas as you can get. And I was forced to stop drinking the Kool-Aid before the Trump years.
There we go.
It didn't take me long to pull my head out of my Jeebus asshole and leave religion.
Wow.
But I still deal with a ton of religious trauma and apologize to my kids at least once a week. Luckily, they've come out fairly unscathed, and somehow they love to roast me.
Damn.
After we left the church, I learned that our former pastor had stepped down and passed the church on to his daughter and his son-in-law, who became frequent commentators on, wouldn't you know, Fox News.
Oh, yeah. I'm like Tucker Carlson Collins. Let's go.
There are news stories about them and their involvement with the insurrection. Enjoy the pic of the pastor standing with a stupid face paint, fur-wearing dude in the news article.
That guy?
Oh my God.
We literally, that's so crazy. That's like synchronicity right there.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
That's crazy.
I am fucking shook.
That is so crazy. What are the chances?
Well, they at least just took a photo together.
No, but now
like,
we're like 4 degrees of separation from someone inside the Capitol on January 6th.
Wow.
I'm disgusted.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm really impressed that the writer got out of that mindset. And I don't,
Yeah, a lot
like,
of people fucking don't.
I'm curious, what your experiences were that made you start seeing things differently. And maybe obviously that's going to be unique for everybody, but Cass, maybe that's something you could sort of answer.
I was in high school when SB 1070 passed. That was the state bill in Arizona. That's where I went to high school. And it was the Show Your Papers bill. And I grew up very Republican, very conservative,
Which papers?
like you have to show your
citizenship,
immigrant
what's happening
documentation.
now.
Yeah. It actually ended up
your legal status.
It actually ended up getting overturned, I think, by the Supreme Court because it was unconstitutional. But imagine we're right back where we started. And I just remember the way that people in my church were talking about it, like it was such a great thing. And I was like, what are we doing here? And I kind of had this like my brain developed or something, clicked in my head. And I was like, why in the world would we ever hate people who are just trying to be good people, right? And like I was also raised, anti-gay and stuff like that.
Sure.
And it probably didn't help that I'd started finding women very attractive and was like, oh, well, shit.
Yeah.
A lot of awakenings happening at once.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, wow. That's a lot,
But
though.
I
That's
was
a lot.
I was an asshole. I say, I have reconnected recently from people who have found my podcast who I went to high school with. And like my first thing out of my mouth is always like, I'm so sorry, by the way, because I was such a conservative. And then when I started having those feelings, I doubled down because I was like, there's no way my whole family and me and the whole church that we could have
All
all been wrong.
Yeah.
And then there was a huge
It's
scandal.
really hard to put on the brakes and turn around at that point.
Yeah.
And then I was lucky. I went to college in New York City and got to experience a lot of different things in a lot of different cultures. And I went to a bunch of different churches. I went to, I used to go to every Friday. Oh gosh, what's it called? The Jewish dinner.
Seder.
Seder, yeah. So I had a friend who was Orthodox Jewish, she wore a wig and, all that stuff. And I would go with her to that and ask questions. And it just really opened up my mind, just experiencing other cultures and other religions and realized like, wow. And now I'm just like pretty agnostic.
Right.
I'm sitting here going, maybe fairies.
You were balanced
Yeah,
out.
maybe fairies. But yeah,
fairies.
that shit is fascinating to me. And we're very happy that you're here
Me too.
Yeah.
on this
Me too.
side of things.
I got lucky.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, I got lucky. My childhood best friend, who actually was married to my brother for a little while, they got married at like 18, right? They actually were on that
wow.
show, engaged and underage.
Really?
Yeah. And she
God.
deconstructed as well. And so now we just send each other memes about it. Like all this, like, funny stuff that was like, oh gosh, jump scare,
Is a lot of your family still in the church?
Yes. Yeah. It's
That's hard.
It's about half and half. None of my siblings are, though.
Okay.
So that's helpful.
That makes things easier.
Yeah, I have 5 brothers, so that definitely helps. Yeah.
Is your brother who is on that show still married?
He's married now to a man.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
You're fascinating.
yeah, you're fascinating.
Can we have you on for another completely unstructured show?
Yeah, we're gonna need like 10 more
chat.
gags this month. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm also impressed that this person who wrote this, and like I am impressed
too.
about this with you too, but like Wine and Crime is a pretty far left show.
Yeah.
We can be an echo chamber at times.
For sure.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's actually kind of nice to hear that like people that have been far on the other side or might fall a little bit toward the middle are still, not taking what we say as gospel, because you shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should apply
Absolutely.
your own critical thinking to anything that you experience, but like taking in our opinions on things, which are going to be vastly different, especially in a true crime space, from say the Mike Boudet side of things,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, and also-
I'm impressed you stuck around and then wrote in a confession.
Honestly, that's the thing too with like having a comedy podcast. Like everything's the most extreme, right? Like you take it to the extreme because it's funnier. And so
Yep.
that's the issue when people first like find our show, for example. They'll be like, I can't believe you said it this crazy way. Or even people I know in real life. And I'm like, yeah, because it was funnier to say it like that. If I said it the mild-mannered way that I would say it in like a normal conversation with my fiance, that's not
Right.
funny. That's just talking.
No.
Yeah. All right. Looks like this one is paranormal.
Oh, let's go.
All right. So back in 2017, during my first year in my first big girl job at a local television station, my news director at the time assigned me to find the ghostly hotspots of North Mississippi
Okay.
for a sweeps period that started at the end of October. Being fresh out of college and new to the new reporter that I was, I had no clue where to start finding ghost hunters.
Oh, yeah.
I eventually
Google.
found a group of Paranormal Research Investigative Society of Mississippi, or PRISM for short.
Yes.
Oh.
After getting in contact with them, they told me that I could meet them at home in Aberdeen, where they planned on doing a paranormal activity investigation for the homeowner and a seance.
Ooh.
Hello.
I know.
A Mississippi seance.
When I met
I
them
can only
there,
dream.
I also met the homeowner, Alex, who prefers the pronouns she, her. But I did not know this at the time that I met her. She called the house the Wright House. Ooh, I don't like that.
Oh.
Over the course of about 3 days, I visited and interviewed 2 ladies from PRISM, took video of the house, and followed the group as they searched for any spirits in the home. They did not refer to any paranormal activity as ghosts, but instead as spirits.
Can I just say,
Oh, yeah.
this person is like a new hire at a local TV station, and they are spending at least 3 days out in the middle,
Hey,
like
they're
in the
going for
field
it.
for an like a paranormal story.
This
I
does
love it.
sound like the beginning
admire the budget.
of a really good found footage horror movie is what it sounds like.
It really
Absolutely.
does.
Right?
I
I'm
would
just
watch the
I'm-
shit out of that.
I'm just questioning the budget for this whole story because,
Hey.
like, that's crazy.
Maybe she took on most of the costs so she could just come out swinging.
Maybe they did.
Yeah, honestly. I never interviewed Alex because while she gave me the okay to be inside her home and take video, she absolutely did not want to be on camera. During one of the days, the two ladies from prison had to leave early. I stayed behind to get more footage. Being in the small market that I am, our reporters did everything themselves, shot the video, got the interviews, edited, and put it all together.
And funded the whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
guess.
right. And put it on the credit card, honey. After the Prism ladies left, I remember Alex saying, "What, do you feel you don't feel uncomfortable, do you?" And then she said, "I don't like women. I don't even like men."
Oh,
I'll never forget having a weird feeling after that. Not necessarily a feeling of being uncomfortable, but just an odd feeling that this person is a little odd, but to each their own. I stayed for about 20 extra minutes and got video of the inside of the home. Alex seemed to have a very minimalist lifestyle, and there was hardly any furniture in their home. Come Halloween, my story aired. I am not joking when I say that I mentioned in the story that Prism said that there was a spirit of a little girl attached to the homeowner. A few weeks go by, and I run into one of the ladies from Prism at Walmart. That's such small town shit.
Yep.
We just had small talk, and I asked her if she spoke with Alex. She responded by saying, "Oh no, do you not know who that is?" Now I know about the John Benet Ramsey case, but I did not know about the John Mark Carr. When she said that it was him, she noticed the confused look on my face and said, "That's the person who claimed to kill John Benet Ramsey."
wait, what?
Oh, yeah. He's confessed many, many, many times, but there isn't
Yeah,
enough.
I know, but what does he have to do with this shit?
That's who Alex was.
Yeah. The whole time.
The whole time?
And that there was the spirit of a little girl. That's so weird
Attached.
because we mentioned John
Oh
Benet
my
Ramsey earlier in this
God,
episode
that's
too, and
so
didn't know that this
fucking
is starting to freak me
creepy.
out.
There's a lot
We're
of
in a simulation.
synchronicities. Totally, absolutely.
So Alex is John Mark Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, I immediately started Googling, and yup, that was him. It explained everything. Why she never wanted to be on camera, why Prism said there's a spirit of a little girl attached to the homeowner.
Oh, no.
Prism had held seances at the Reich House as part of the Halloween event. The woman I ran into at Walmart told me that a guest recognized Alex and called the police. After that, the local newspaper did a story on John Mark Carr being in Aberdeen. While we never did report on that new development, the newspaper wrote an interesting article that I recommend reading. It's about Alex and why she is in Mississippi. So John Mark Carr transitioned, I'm guessing.
That's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask. I didn't see that news, but
And,
okay.
Well, she said that they were still
Yeah, they're talking
presenting
about Alex as
not female, but went
At
by
that
she,
time.
her. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
don't know what year this was, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
4 years later. 4 years later, I'm still at the same station, but now I'm one of the morning news anchors. Oh, congrats. That's so cool. And that story
All
is
because of this story.
literally all because you put in the work down
did.
in Mississippi.
God damn. You paid for 3 days room and board on your own
Literally.
credit card.
Holy shit.
I could go on and on about the smaller details, but I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, take up more of
I
our
know,
time,
right? I'm like,
please.
Right again.
Hello, where is the follow-up?
Whoa. That's fucking
Well, I know what I'm
wild.
Googling when I get off this call.
For real.
Yeah. We gotta go.
Weird. You just never know who the fuck you're meeting on any given day.
Seriously, you
Could
really
be
don't.
the guy who thought that they killed John Benet Ramsey.
Who knows?
But then like moved to Thailand or something, and then like confessed and like okay.
Woof.
Woof is right.
Well, holy shit. Well, okay, so that is the end of our main feed regular confessions. If you want this episode ad-free and to also get a bonus confession, join us over on Uncorked for the ad-free extended GAC with a bonus confession.
Hell yeah. Go to our website, wineandcrimepodcast.com, and go over to Uncorked.
Uncorked.
You can see the instructions from there.
Get after it.
We have a good time.
We do. Thank you so much for reading those.
Of course.
Yes.
You're
perfect.
incredible. And let's take a quick break to hear a last word from our sponsors and then punt it over to Lucy for Coroner Corner.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I got something special for you. Sometimes thinking ahead about like making dinner, cooking dinner gives me a little bit of anxiety because I'm like, first of all, I'm going to be in the kitchen all night long. It's going to take me forever. And I have to like go to the store and spend a bunch of money.
Oh, you'll never catch me out here meal planning.
Oh no, prices these days?
Oh,
No. So the good news is that is no longer the case. When you use Every Plate, you get restaurant level deliciousness week after week with recipes like crispy buffalo ranch chicken
girl.
with the carrots.
Oh yeah, and the mashed potato. Get out of here! Get out of here! It's so good. I've remade that one like 3 times.
I've remade the cheesy Mexican street corn hash. The like the sesame pork bowls.
Get out of here! I mean, they're so easy and just like not anything that I would think of off the top of my head. And my husband is constantly like, "Girl, who did I marry?"
If I'm left to my own devices, I can't go past like 5 ingredients.
You're getting a frozen lasagna if I'm left to my own devices. It's not happening.
Yeah, so
You're getting a pizza.
thank God for Every Plate.
And you will spend less on these flavor-packed homemade meals than you would on your normal groceries or at a restaurant, let me tell you. And if you're just in a rut, you're cooking the same things over and over. I have like my go-tos if I just do not know what to eat. I have like 2 things that I know how to make off the top of my head. And it gets monotonous. You can up your dinner game in 30 minutes or less with Every Plate's clear, easy to follow recipes. They really... Like, I don't know how to tell you this enough. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And thanks to Every Plate's constantly rotating weekly recipes delivered right to your door, you'll always have the best answer to what's for dinner.
So what are you waiting for? Dig into these flavor-packed meals your household will love. New customers can enjoy this special offer of only $1.99 per meal. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and use code GALS199 to get started. Applied as discount on first box, limited time only.
You know, we work from home for the most part. I do work weekends at a restaurant, but I'm mostly at home. And so I don't really put a lot of thought and care into what I'm wearing. And then that changes my mindset because then I'm just like, all right, well, whatever. I'm just like in pajamas or leggings or whatever all day. And, you know, you'll open your closet and you're just like not in love with really anything. And you just reach for like the same things over and over again.
The comfiest things.
Yeah, it's rough. And you just got to find clothes that like work for your life. And obviously comfort is key. I want to reach for the comfy things, but I want to look a little bit more put together. So if that's resonating with you or whatever phase you might be in, Splendid is your girl. They have cozy, stylish, timeless pieces that you'll actually be excited to wear. I have been obsessed with my like linen shorts and my linen top set.
Oh yeah.
Girl, it's so cute.
I have a knit cardigan. It's really loose knit, so it's perfect for summer. It's got kind of balloony sleeves.
Oh,
it's really cute.
So pretty.
Splendid has the world's softest closet staples to elevate your wardrobe and help you feel comfortable and confident in every outfit. Like Amanda said, I'm going for the comfortable stuff for primarily, but then like depending on what comfortable stuff I have available, it's like, oh, I'm not leaving the house.
Yep.
So now you do not have to compromise. Splendid makes buttery soft tees, pull-on pants that fit just right, easy sets. Sets are very in right
Oh
now.
my God, the beachy set.
It's adorable.
I've been living in it.
Same. And they have a huge variety of pieces. They're all next level soft and actually hold up in the wash.
They sure
They're very
do.
high quality, but the softness, don't overlook the softness. It is so comfy. With Splendid, the basics aren't boring. They're your closet's secret weapon. These are the staples that simplify your morning and elevate everything after. So from school drop-off to a dinner out, Splendid makes feeling put together effortless. They've nailed that sweet spot between comfort and style that is very hard to find with other brands. Dressing for comfort never means compromising your style when you shop at Splendid.
And right now, Splendid is offering our listeners 20% off when you go to Splendid.com and use promo code GALS at checkout, or when you shop at Splendid in stores. Go to Splendid.com and use code GALS for 20% off online or in store. That's Splendid.com, promo code GALS.
A good book is great, but what if you had an endless library of delicious romance at your fingertips?
Oh, tell me more.
Well, with Galatea, you don't just read, you get swept away in every stolen glance and every heart-pounding touch you just can't stop thinking about. Whatever kind of love story you crave, you'll find it on Galatea, and there's always something new to discover each week.
Galatea is a reading app where anyone craving a little me time can dive into a library of romance stories that leave you feeling recharged and fulfilled. And if you really are like a romance binger, this is your girl, because there are over 1,000 bestsellers to choose, from shifter romance to bad boy billionaires, forbidden love, slow burn fantasy. They got teen drama. They have so much more. Galatea is home to original series and standalone stories with an exclusive catalog of best-selling authors. With new chapters and series dropping every week, there's always something new to explore. If you're craving more, there's always something new to explore. Over 30 million people have fallen in love with reading on Galatea, so join now to indulge in stories that make you feel like yourself again.
Right now, Galatea is offering our listeners an extra 25% off on top of an already irresistibly affordable subscription when you go to Galatea.com/gals. That's Galatea.com/gals to indulge in unlimited stories for even less. Galatea.com/gals.
All right, Lucy, bring us home. What do you got in the Coroner Corner this month? Do I dare
I got some
even
weird,
ask?
shit. I don't think anything is really going to give you nightmares.
Okay.
This time.
She really abuses her segment on occasion.
As you should. As is your right.
Quote unquote, unlock a new fear. It is. It's her show. She can do whatever she wants.
Sometimes I find cases that are so fucking bonkers that I have to share them, and sometimes they involve like a body getting sucked into like a 6-inch tube or
an oven at a Walmart bakery,
etc.
Oh God.
Falling into a poop pit.
Thank God
drowning in poop.
Thank God I don't leave my house. Like, whoa.
Well, you don't even have to leave your house for a lot of these.
Oh no.
But
great.
Don't worry. None of these today will apply. Well, I can't promise. Okay. So first up, I have gotten like an inordinate amount of emails regarding Vivianite.
What?
So it's a crystal. I swear I've gotten like at least 4 messages recently about Vivianite.
Specifically about Vivianite.
Yes. Have you heard of Vivianite?
It's this green one in here that I'm looking at in your pictures.
I have not heard of this.
I haven't
It's a crystal. It's a beautiful like emerald green crystal, but it's not actually emerald. So I will explain. And this is from an IFL Science. I fucking love science article. Here we go.
It's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Fans of the fantasy genre are probably used to the idea of special stones or crystals that have formed on ancient dead bodies and boast some sort of mystical property. But did you know that there are real necrocrystals in the world?
What?
It's like the fungi of the crystal world.
Yeah. But fun new phrase, necrocrystals.
You need to get a necrocrystal in your cabinet.
I don't have one yet. So Vivianite, which is a rare phosphate mineral, it's I don't even know what this is. They've got the Fe3PO42H208. Yep. Has been found growing on organic materials such as fossil shells, animal waste deposits, so like poop, and even on decomposing bodies.
Oh my God.
The crystal, which is well known for its beautiful and vividly colored structures, develops in iron-rich sedimentary deposits containing bones, decayed wood, and other organic remains, especially in clay and sandstone.
Wow.
So, like, if the environment is amenable to Vivianite, it's
It'll
gonna grow.
happen. Oh my God.
That just like
They
blows my mind because like just the idea of growing a crystal, it's like I know that's how things work, but
Yeah.
like
But it is wild.
yeah, it's like trying to
I can
explain
wrap my
Wi-Fi.
head around it. Yeah, I can wrap my head around it with a fungus.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
harder
and
for
then-
me to wrap my head around it with like a mineral.
Yeah,
minerals are fucking nuts because I feel like you look at something like sandstone
Uh-huh.
and it's like these crystals grew off of some sort of biological material a shit ton of time ago. Like, I don't know. I think the whole like vastness and like the way that you can't really wrap your head around
No.
how old the planet is to even produce something as boring as like a
Piece of
brownish gray
sandstone.
rock
Yeah.
in your backyard.
Yeah.
It's like, and then at the same time, you have these same similar processes or comparable processes that result in like diamonds or, you know, Vivianite. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, it's wild. Okay, they can also be found in hydrothermal replacement deposits and in phosphate-rich granite pegmatites, which are igneous rock with a coarse texture and interlocking crystals. I know you're following along.
Totally.
I just know it.
100%.
So, Vivianite as a crystal is extremely fragile and when freshly formed is often pale white or transparent, but its color actually changes when it's exposed to light.
Oh.
So it's my understanding that a lot of this grows underground or subterraneally.
Sure.
But then when you bring it up to the light, that's when it kind of turns green.
What?
that's so sick.
And this is caused by oxidation, which continues to darken the crystal through shades of blue to darker green and purple, and eventually a thick purplish black. What? So it forms on dead bodies, as we've established. And why it does that, the key here is the interaction between iron, water, and phosphate. Our bodies contain plenty of phosphate, especially in our teeth and our bones, which is released into the surrounding environment when we start to decompose.
Aren't those like crystal growing kits mostly like powdered phosphate, water, and something else, and then like coloring so you can like grow, quote unquote?
I think so.
Those
I mean, a lot of
crystals.
it's really artificial because it also happens really fucking fast.
Yeah, like overnight.
So, like, I don't know. I guess I've never looked at it to take a lot of stock into it, but it's almost like, I feel like it's like how rock candy,
Yeah.
you know, except there's just sugar in there. But I feel like it's kind of the same thing.
Weird.
Interesting.
So in rare conditions where the surrounding area contains water and iron, the phosphate that's leaking out can react and form mineral Vivianite.
Whoa.
So if the biological material is decomposing and forming this phosphate, and if the area surrounding the decomposing material has water and iron, and if it's all in a very specific like ratio to each other, that's when we get the Vivianite.
So in theory, if I wanted to, when I died, leave like my foot behind so that my foot could be put in the exact monitored conditions necessary to create Vivianite so that you could keep a Vivianite stone grown from my foot, my decomposing foot.
That's romantic.
In theory, I could do that.
In theory, yes, but I think there would have to be really specific like legal parameters. Like you'd probably have to have like a special thing written up by a lawyer that you sign before you die.
We'll
blah,
get to
blah,
that.
blah.
I just mean the science.
Oh yeah,
It's
Then,
doable.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. I'll work out
Yeah.
the kinks.
You'll work out the kinks.
I'll get
You'll
the
work
rest.
out the kicks.
Yeah. I'll get the rest in
Get
writing
it?
from our
Because
lawyer.
it's your foot.
Yeah. Good one.
So in most cases, Vivianite has been observed on bodies that have been buried for several centuries where it has formed on the bones and the teeth. So like maybe it takes a little bit longer.
Holy shit. Can you
There are
imagine
also-
you dig up remains and their bones and teeth have crystallized?
We'll get to it.
Are there pictures?
There's no pictures, but it's part of this article. There are also far older examples where it has been found on the tusks of mammoths and on the bones of other animals that are several thousand years old. But there are few instances where it has been identified on more recent human bodies. So, like, theoretically, yes, you could leave me your foot to grow Vivianite, but I do think it'll take like a really long time to actually do it.
Well, then you would have to pass it down in your will so that maybe your great-great-great-grandchildren could have some of my Vivianite.
So my alien ass great-great-great-great-grandchildren.
Yep.
When their parent dies, they get that will, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is this?" And they'll be like, "This is the crystallized foot of Amanda Jacobson."
Who's that bitch?
Like,
We don't know.
Fuck is that?
But you
We
can
don't
finally
even use the name
harvest.
Amanda anymore.
Hi, Corey.
June's home.
Oh, okay.
In the 1960s, archaeologists discovered several bodies in Lake Walken, Germany. Walchen?
Sure.
Lake Walchen?
Volkswagen.
That's what we're going. Which were partially skeletonized and also covered in fat wax, the soap, the adipocere. I can never say it right. Adipocere, a product of decomposition that turns body fat into a soap-like substance. One of the bodies had an iron plate fastened to it that had formed Vivianite in between the plate and the fat wax.
Okay.
An analysis of the body's clothes indicated that it had probably been in the water for somewhere between 30 and 50 years, and that the crystals could have only formed in such a short time because the iron plate had released sufficient iron ions as it corroded, allowing the Vivianite to grow on the phosphate-rich parts of the body.
Holy
So there's
shit.
a cheat code for your foot later. Just
Yeah.
gotta get
There
some
is
iron
a cheat
in there.
code. If we got a lot of iron and then the water, because it's underwater,
We can do
then
this.
we could speed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you might only get a couple of flakes.
This
That's
does.
okay.
I understand it's science, and you're telling me all science. This does feel like more proof of my fairy theory. I don't know.
It really does. This does not feel of this.
I'm not trying to
reality.
come off crazy or anything over here, but
You're not.
No?
That's got fairies wrritten all the fuck
all
over it.
over it.
You
Science
get
is
trapped in a
amazing.
fairy ring and it pulls you down under the ground and then crystals start growing out of your mouth and bones.
Ew.
Okay.
I'm
Fairies.
sensing the next romantic, erotic fairy
Yep.
book if I ever heard of it.
It's giving Akatar. Big time.
So in 1998, another team of researchers discovered Vivianite on the remains of a U.S. serviceman who had been listed as missing in action from Vietnam since 1963
Whoa.
Damn.
after his B-26B aircraft went missing. By analyzing the mineral, the researchers were able to conclude that the body had likely been buried in wet soil alongside parts of the plain, which allowed the Vivianite to grow. So the plain provides all the iron,
Damn.
I'm assuming, like from, mineral wise. It's wet soil, there's your water, and then we've got the phosphates from your teeth.
Teeth and
Yeah.
bones. Holy shit.
Vivianite has also been found on the body, not just the teeth and the bones, inside and outside the skin and in the lung tissue of Otzi, O-T-Z-I.
Yes.
The 5,300-year-old Iceman discovered by a German tourist in
That's
the
right.
Tyrolean Otzel Alps in 1991.
The
I think we've
Mummy.
talked about him on
We've talked about him
Gak.
before.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So Vivianite was found on his other tissues.
Is he the one that goes, oh?
No, that was a mummy.
Oh. Where they 3D printed his voice box and blew air through it. And it just
That was the
went, "Ah!"
pharaoh. That's my favorite video on the internet.
It's
Yeah,
so
the pharaoh.
good.
Whenever I'm really going through it, I'll throw that bad boy on. Immediate fix. That and that woman falling out of she's stomping grapes for a news channel.
Yes.
And she falls out and whenever I'm having a bad day, I'm like, wow, that really turned it around for me.
Oh my God, I love those videos.
The Egyptian pharaoh. We reconstructed his voice
He
box.
might have sounded like this. Okay.
Okay, so Otzi, the Iceman, it's believed that the crystals formed on his body at the points where it had contact with iron-containing rocks.
Okay.
So even down to like how this body was buried and like the materials he was buried around. If this Vivianite did develop on like more of his soft tissue, like by his lungs and different parts of his skin, then they were like, oh yeah, that's because it was like really oil-rich rocks that were right next to him that seeped in.
That's
Isn't that
fucking nuts.
That's
cool?
insane.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Similarly, in 1996, another Vivianite-encrusted adipocere body was discovered in a bay of Lake Brienz in Switzerland, and it is thought to belong to a man who drowned there sometime in the 1700s.
Oh.
Vivianite, by the way, was named in 1817 after John Henry Vivian, an Englishman mineralogist, person who studies minerals, who first discovered the mineral in Cornwall, England.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you
What a
imagine discovering a
discovery.
corpse with just like green, jutting, like fragile, like spikes of crystal all around it? That's
That would
not
be-
how it works. But
I know,
like,
but it's how I picture it in my head.
yeah.
Damn.
So cool. Okay, this second article was sent in by Annalise, and this is from the BBC. The title is Book Bound in Human Skin Found in Museum Office. Book bound in human skin found in museum office.
Just chilling in someone's office?
Well, kinda. We'll get to it. A book bound in the skin of one of the UK's most notorious murderers is to go on display after being found in a museum's office.
It was bound in the murderer's own skin?
Yeah. The murderer's skin bound this book that recounted the story of the murderer.
Of his murders, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the work is understood to be made using the skin of William Corder, the man convicted of killing Maria Martin in the Red Barn murder in 1827. And it will go on display alongside a similar item at Moyses Hall Museum in Bury St. Edmunds, Suffolk. Dan Clark, heritage officer, said that the books had, quote, an incredibly important historical value, and that he had never had a complaint about the first being on display. Okay. There are two books, I'll say.
Okay.
The first book is completely bound in skin. The second book is only bound on, it's like the spine and then the four corners.
Okay. Our skin.
Is that one also
Yes.
about a murderer? And was it bound in the skin of the murderer as well?
The same murderer.
Oh.
They're both bound in the skin of this corner.
Did he make the
Corder,
books himself
William Corder.
and took his own skin
No.
off? Someone just used his skin later after he died?
So this was like a thing.
It was like part of the punishment, right?
It was part of the punishment. It was a thing a while ago. So, Terry Deary, author of Horrible Histories.
Yeah.
So Horrible Histories is like a book or like a series of books, and like it became a TV show or something. But he talks about historical crimes. So he described them as, quote, sickening artifacts, adding, quote, these are two books I'd like to burn. So the story of the
Can you imagine the
1827 murder.
Ugh.
Well, it's like cured and stuff. They treat it like leather.
Don't care. Still grosses
There's
me
pictures
out.
on the drive if you want to see.
I
It looks like any
know.
other leather. Maybe a little bit thin.
It's too beige for me.
They
It
still
looks
tan
like
it and treat
skin,
it and everything. I
which
mean,
is
it
what
looks like
is.
leather.
Yeah.
So the story of the 1827 murder in Polstead, Suffolk, shocked Georgian Britain. Since then, it has been the subject of many films, books, plays, and folk songs. The Boo. The most commonly told version is that Corder had been having an affair with Miss Martin. So Corder told her to meet him at the Red Barn, which was a local landmark, saying that they would run away to Ipswich together to get married. Meet me at the Red Barn.
We'll run away to Ipswich.
We'll run away to Ipswich.
It's incredibly British.
I know, Ipswich. The Red Barn. Grow up. Move west.
Don't. It's terrible here.
Yeah, you don't
ever
believe me. You don't want to
move.
be here.
No. But Corder shot and killed Miss Martin, burying her in the barn, allegedly. He was eventually caught and he was publicly executed on August 11th, 1828. There is a picture of like a wood carving of the public execution of Corder on the drive.
Damn, it was a packed house.
It was a packed house, which is why there were books written about it. So his body was dissected and part of his skin was used to bind a book telling the story of his trial. This book was put on display at the museum in 1933.
Damn.
But recently, curators were looking through the museum's catalog and realized that there was a second book that had been overlooked. The second book had been donated decades ago by a family with close connections to the surgeon who anatomized Corder's body.
So the surgeon
so he
had the
ended
book.
up with some extra skin.
Made a book. Made another book.
Second book.
What else are you supposed to
The
do with
book
your
was-
extra skin? Just leave it
Right.
laying
What else are
around?
you gonna do with it?
No.
Little
What a
coin
waste.
purse. The book was located not in the museum stores, but on a bookshelf in the office next to other books bound in more traditional materials like cotton,
Leather. Wow. Can you imagine? That was just chilling on the bookshelf in someone's office for God
Yeah.
knows how long.
Because somehow at some point, either it never got down into like the museum's coffers, like the basement with all the other stuff, or it somehow made its way up from there into like a supervisor's office and then just got stuck on a bookshelf and no one ever looked at it again for like decades. So Mr. Clark said, quote, we get things called museum losses, and it tends to be from the last century, things that have not been seen for a couple of decades. This would be considered a museum loss, which has been found.
Wow.
Also, like, if you think about if you worked at a museum,
I
I
would
would be borrowing shit left and right. There would be so many losses contributed to me.
I would
probably.
to be a finder.
Yeah.
Hunting through everyone's office.
A narc.
I want to find shit. I don't care
I
who
want to
took
work
it.
at a museum. I want to go to the basement and be like, I want like a little taxidermied mini leopard to like keep me company this week
I
in my
don't
office,
think that's
and then
how
bring
it
him
works
upstairs.
when you work at a museum, but sure, that would be
And
awesome.
You wouldn't know.
I mean,
I
and
wouldn't.
neither would I.
That's why I said
so
I don't
let's
think.
not cast aspersions.
Amanda would
Okay.
go to the head curator and be like, listen, I would never do this, but it's weighing heavy on my heart.
on me.
I was in Lucy's office yesterday,
yep.
and there was a mini
She's
taxidermy
got a
leopard.
lemur.
Yeah. Also, her presentation at the morning meeting was her just recapping an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. It was so
100%.
weird.
No, it's the only one I've ever seen.
Wasn't
It's
even
one
that good of an
two.
episode either.
No.
One of his worst.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
even an
remember what
iconic one.
happens. Something with a burger. Anyway,
Every episode.
All of them.
Yeah. Whatever.
unlike the first quarter skin book, this skin of the second book is only on the book's binding and the corners, like I said. Covering books in human skin is known as anthropodermic bibliopagy. Anthropodermic bibliopagy.
It looks scabby on the spine.
It's just thin.
It's so gross.
It's thin.
What
It
a
needs to be
Repulsive word you just used.
not a fan.
You need to like.
It looks scabby. That quarter book 2.
It needs some sort of hydrating, like a lotion or like it needs some kind of restorative balm.
Like It's a white
needs
leather
skin
couch.
graft. Yes.
Pledge. something.
Pledge? No.
What do you treat leather with?
There are leather oils.
Yeah, it needs that.
It needs a royal oiling.
Royal oiling.
But it also needs a skin graft because there are some chunks of scab missing from that spine.
God.
You're a skin graft.
Oh.
Okay. Books were often created in the 19th century to punish executed prisoners or by doctors who wanted a keepsake.
Yeah, yuck.
Deary, whose Horrible Histories series have sold millions around the world and have been turned into a TV franchise, said that Corder, the criminal, the guy whose skin it is, had been convicted on circumstantial evidence. And so, like, he's suggesting that he wasn't guilty in the first place, and he suffered terribly as a result. That's why he was like, I want to burn these books. On the museum items, he said, quote, I know you're not supposed to burn books, but quite honestly, these are such sickening artifacts. What was worse than the hanging was the thought that their body would be dissected after death, and this is an extension of that.
It's pretty gnarly.
The person who's like on the executioner's block knows or has been told that they're going to get turned into a book, and that's like,
among other things, they're getting fully dissected. We're going to take all your fucking organs out. We're going to fuck around and do experiments with your body. And then we're going to use your skin to make a book about how shitty you were.
A book about your crimes. And especially if like you weren't guilty in the first place, it's like, what the fuck, man?
And I think that would make you like unfit for heaven or whatever was like part of the point.
Oh, yeah.
Because they used to, be really into like you had to raise from the dead as your full
and you
person.
have to be complete. Yeah.
Yeah. Intact. Totally. Yep. In March 2024, Harvard University removed the skin binding from a 19th century book in its library, quote, due to the ethically fraught nature of the book's origins and subsequent history. But staff at Moisey's Hall said that would not happen to either of its books, which are now on display together. Mr. Clark said, quote, we see human remains in every museum across the country, which he's got a point. In his 11 years at the museum, he said there has not been a single complaint about the first book, but there has been concerns raised about mummified cats being displayed in part of a witchcraft exhibit. Heritage
we don't care about what happened to humans. Just don't show me the cats.
I think that's kind of Mr. Clark's point. It's like, you're not concerned about this guy. Can you argue that these cats weren't innocent at the time of their execution or whatever? Like, Heritage assistant Abby Smith got to hold the books on her first day in the job, lucky, and said, quote, they felt like a real book.
Well, yeah.
If you didn't tell people it was bound in human skin, I do not really think you'd realize, she said.
No.
It's also rather humbling to have something like that in the collection.
Sure. It has a scab. So
So pick it.
Oh.
So that's what I have to say about anthropodermic bibliophagy.
Welcome to Lucy's anthropodermic bibliopathy corner
area.
Space.
But I do have a very short obit for us for the obituary area.
All right, let's hear it.
And this one was sent in by Sarah, and I think several others because I saw it in like a couple different places, but I kind of love it. I mean, I do love it. Okay. Louise Ann Barron, or maybe Barone, age 70, of Leechburg, passed away on Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, at Forbes Memorial Hospital. Her cause of death was probably due to the steady decline of the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball organization. Her family is devastated, especially because she was just getting the hang of that iPhone and will miss her beyond measure.
Oh, that's cute.
That's so cute.
Born in Leechburg on April 7th, 1955, Louise worked as a dental hygienist for Dr. Sarasso and could always be counted on to stuff Christmas stockings with samples of toothpaste and floss. Quick with a smile and a laugh, mostly because she wasn't paying attention while you were talking.
I love that move. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I asked you a question. What? Uh-huh.
That's
Oh,
fun.
you're so funny.
Louise loved cooking for Sunday family dinners, hoarding Tupperware, vacationing at the beach, cheering on the Steelers, spending time with her family, and chatting on the phone with her sister for hours on end.
Oh.
Preceded in death by her parents, Steve and Helen Peckus, Louise is survived by her husband of 46 years, bravo, Thomas. Their children, Stephanie Jankowski and Michael Barone, her sister Elaine Lizick, several nieces, nephews, and cousin, and her impressive collection of used gift bags. While Louise adored her whole family, she unapologetically favored her grandchildren, Brady, Ella, and Lila.
Oh.
All are welcome to the celebration of life. The family encourages anyone who has borrowed Louise's Tupperware to return it at that time.
That's so perfect.
I love this family.
Yeah, so R.I.P. Louise.
I hope that they got a bunch of her Tupperware back. That shit is valuable. We have a whole
It's always a
cupboard
little
that's
orange,
only
too.
Tupperware. Oh, yeah. And by only Tupperware, I mean like only takeout containers. Like we rinse and keep everything.
That's
Yes.
Midwest currency right there. Are you joking?
It really is.
Totally.
What if you need to drop off a hot dish?
Which we do. Not infrequently. We get and give food around the neighborhood.
I'm
Absolutely.
not using my Pyrex.
Hell no. We're going to give them the takeout box. Oh my God. Rest in peace.
But then you end up like me. Like after June's birthday party, we had like 6 different Tupperwares and I like cleaned them. I matched up the lids. I had them all lined up on the counter. And then I like took pictures and video of the whole collection
claim
and
'em.
sent them out and was like, whose are these?
Name them.
And every single person was like, no, we like just keep it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I
Midwest.
was like, no.
We've been trying to
I
get
don't
rid of
feel
that
good
one
about
for a really
this.
long time. Don't give it back to me.
No,
Yeah.
returning Tupperware.
You pay it forward.
Yeah, returning Tupperware is not the move. It's making sure that you, as the deliverer, are not choosing the good Tupperware.
Yep.
If
Yeah.
you want it to come back, then it can't leave your house.
Yep.
No, you just
There's
give.
Tupperware that we have that we only use for leftovers that we clean and put away, but then we have like it's the takeout containers that are really
The
key
giveaway.
for. We don't care if we ever
Or
use
like
them
the
back.
one that you put spaghetti in once, and so now it's vaguely orange forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that. Keep it. Keep it.
Yep.
Yep.
Our
That
pleasure.
one's yours now.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Lucky you. Well done. Well done, Lucy. And well done, Cass.
Thanks, Cass.
Thank
Thank
you guys.
so
Great
much
job.
for joining us today.
I had a blast.
Tell the people where they can get your podcast.
And
Yeah.
find you on the socials.
Of course. You can find Drinking the Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid is one word, anywhere where you listen to podcasts. We also have a YouTube channel if you prefer YouTube. We do videos of all of our episodes. You can find us on Drinking the Kool-Aid Pod on Instagram and on Twitter, formerly whatever, Twitter.
Yeah, we don't call it that.
Okay, thank
We
you.
just
Because
call
I'm
it
like,
Twitter.
name.
come on, let's be real. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Casaraptor, like Velociraptor,
Yes.
but my name, so CASAROPTOR.
I love it.
And yeah, so we have a website too, I guess, dtkpod.com.
Amazing. I love it.
Forgot about the website.
Definitely check them out. I'm going to be doing a much deeper dive. And we loved unpacking your religious upbringing today.
That was fascinating.
Plenty more trauma where that came from, girl.
Oh, can't
We'll have
wait.
you back on.
I love it.
Thank you so much for listening. And like always, if you want to hear this episode and all of our episodes ad-free, join us on Uncorked.
Same day release, baby. No ads.
Hell yeah. Go to wineandcrimepodcast.com and then head up to that Uncorked tab to figure out more information, find out more information. And yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you next month for a new episode of GAC.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Like what you see?
Check out more episodes and become a member to unlock exclusive content.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Mm.